You are the icing on my cake. You are the smile I can't replace. You are the way you smile, the way you laugh, the way I can't help but catch your joy, your joy. Metaphorically, this song just says one thing: I love you.
Hi guys! Okay, so today's a very exciting day. Today is the first anniversary of having Minnie, and I cannot believe how quick time has flown by, so we thought we'd do a little video to celebrate. I feel like we were just celebrating her first birthday, which was in February, but to have actually had her for a year is pretty incredible. Woo. So let's try actually filming with her out. Let's see how long that'll take. But anyway, so I thought we'd do a little celebratory video. And for any of you guys who didn't know how she was adopted, I'll give a quick little recap. Obviously, I adopted her a year ago on April 7th. And it kind of is interesting how it came about. I was building the DIY cage, that's now her cage, and I had been slowly but surely saving up to build it. I had like one of the tables and some of the stuff for it, but I was fully saving up to be able to have the wood cut and to have the plexi cut, and I was on Craigslist, which I do pretty often. I check there for hamster supplies, but I don't look at hamsters because that's too dangerous, because I wouldn't want to bring each and every one of them home, because most of them, of course, come from situations that could use a better home. So I don't look at actual hamsters, but that day I did. I clicked on a post, and it was obviously Minnie, and I don't even know why. It was just a picture of 8 blurry hamsters running around. You really couldn't even barely tell what they looked like, but yeah, I clicked, and I found myself writing the lady. I mean, in my mind, I knew, like, when I was building this cage, it was for Stitch, but I think in my heart I really knew that it was for a new hamster, and that Stitch would stay in his tank and give another hamster, because I know he wouldn't want that much space. But yeah, so I wrote the lady, and we talked back and forth, and it was a little tricky because they were not her pets, or the hamsters were not hers, they were her daughters. And come to find out, her daughter was about 9, so that was interesting. But yeah, we talked back and forth a while. I kind of pretty much put it into high gear on finishing this cage. I pretty much stayed up for like 2 days straight just finishing it. And then I let it stay out and dry fully for 2 days because I didn't want to fill it. I really wanted it to sit and make sure it was fully dried and cured and stuff. And then I got it set up. And I talked to my mom and saw if she wanted to come along with me, because it was a couple hours away, which another reason that I could have easily gone with another hamster. It's not like there wasn't probably more on Craigslist, but I really was just drawn to it, and I don't really know why. I'm sure it had something probably to do with the fact that they were mottled hamsters, and I'd always wanted a black and white or a gray and white mottled hamster. So I'm sure that might have had something to do with it, but so that could have been her reason. But either way, I was just really drawn to them. She had let me know that there were one black and white, there was one male and one female black and white ones left, and that the male was more docile, and then the female was more a little energetic, as you guys obviously know. Hi, where are you going? And so yeah, it was a few hours away, so I talked to my mom and saw if she wanted to go along with me so I could kind of keep the possible hamster company on the way home. And there was a couple red flags that kind of went up that I was a little worrisome if it was going to be a lot for this new hamster. The diet, she had no clue what the hamsters were fed because it was whatever her daughter picked out at the store. She did know that the hamsters ate crackers and pretzels as a snack every day. So I knew I was getting into a hamster that probably was going to be a very picky eater, and I could tell by the blurry picture that they were overweight. And so I knew that. Also, the lady didn't want to meet at her home. She wanted to meet at a park near her home, which I completely understood for the safety of not wanting somebody to know where you live. I completely understand that. But it was a little wearisome for me because I just felt like the hamsters were going to be uprooted from their home and taken to a park outside, and it was April, so it was kind of chilly in the evening, and by the time I could get out of class and get there, it was going to be at dusk, and I didn't really feel completely safe with that. I didn't think that was right for the hamsters. Plus, I kind of wanted to meet the parents, and she made that clear that she was only bringing the babies because she didn't have room to bring 4 different cages. So that was a little hard. I mean, it's not like when you're adopting you need to see the parents. That's not like something you need to do, but I kind of had wanted to. Yeah. But, you know, oh well. So we met at the park, and my mom was a little, you know, she kind of tried to convince me out of it, like, Sarah, there's other hamsters on Craigslist, you can find another. But I was just set on, I felt an attachment, which I know is really weird. So we went, and we made the drive, and well enough, we met in a park. The girls were in a little, well, they were all in critter trails, but the girls shared a little tiny critter trail together, and the boy was just being held. They didn't bring his cage because obviously they just didn't have room to carry 2 cages. Hi, where are you going? So I really felt bad for the boy who had to make the whole entire car ride and trip just being held. But it is better than being housed with the girls. That would have worried me a little bit more, which is a reason I was a little worried that they didn't keep them separate. But anyway, so I held the boy for probably like a minute, and very true, he was very docile and laid back, not like this one. And then there was Minnie, who the woman was holding, and Minnie was doing just this, just very curious, and so I chose to hold her, and I think I was just smitten right away, like instantly. Hi. I mean, she never tried to bite me, she never tried to jump out of my hands, but she did just this, you know, wandering around. And I don't know, I felt smitten for it. Would you like a seed? Let's get you a seed. So without a doubt, I was smitten, and we brought her home, and she adjusted really easy and pretty quick. There wasn't very many problems. She was a little territorial over her cage, which was to be expected. I think that was having to do with sharing the cage. And it was hard because I did want to, you know, adopt all of them, especially since she had the girls on site. And I never once messed with any of the other hamsters other than the boy and her, but it was really hard not to bring them all home. I wished I had room for them all. And after having Minnie for a few weeks and seeing how easily she is bored, she loves attention, and her toys she gets bored of very easy and such. It made me wonder if she would have done better with a sibling, somebody to be able to play with and such, but at the same time I could watch her personality and know that she had a hard time sharing things, and that was probably because she had to share things. So I don't know if it would have worked out, and I didn't have the room to separate them if I did, so it was the best choice not to adopt another one, even though I would have loved to have a pair. But yeah, I mean, she adjusted pretty quickly. There was, you know, if she didn't like to be picked up if she was in her cage, like you couldn't just reach in and pick her up. She would let out a big squeak, at least for the first few weeks, but she would, after a week, she felt comfortable walking into your hands, and she would let you take her out. And as soon as she's in your hands, she's perfectly happy and content. There's no biting, there's no agitation. It's just in her cage she is, and I'm sure that has something to do with being in a very small cage and having somebody reach in for her all the time, so that might have something to do with it. Food-wise, she did have a hard time getting used to a well-rounded diet, and it's so funny when I look back at pictures of her, instead of thinking, oh, look how small she was when she was a baby, I look how big she was, because she was definitely overweight, and she stored so much of her food in her cheeks until she felt safe. So that was that. We found out within a few days of having her that she was deaf, which definitely made sense to why the first few days she never really responded to anything or never seemed to be fazed. I mean, not like being deaf has bothered her one single bit, but it was at least nice to be able to figure that out and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. We also thought she had mites when we first adopted her due to the incessant amount of time she would spend itching and bathing, and so for sure we thought she had mites, even though no matter how hard we looked on her we couldn't find them, which is not exactly surprising seeing as she is black and white and they are very tiny. Either way though, we made a homemade recipe for mite treatment, and we treated her for that for 2 weeks at least, which really kind of put a damper on taming her, because here every day she had to come out and get this treatment whether she liked it or not, so that was kind of hard. And then we ended up finding out that she didn't even have mites, she just itched a lot. But I mean, it was good to figure out that she didn't have mites. That was definitely a good assurance. But her itching, we ended up figuring out through a vet and such that she just is a little OCD, and we found that through kind of just watching her for, you know, ended up being months, that when she is stressed, she itches and bathes a lot. When she is bored, she itches and scratches a lot. And so that's been a kind of a battle with her, you know, to figure out a happy medium. When she gets bored, you change things up, but at the same time, change can also induce stress. So it's been a little tricky. So that is the only really health problem she's had. She ends up having a spot on her side that she itches the fur off of from constantly itching and bathing it. So that's been a battle. you know, it comes and goes. As she gets older, the fur doesn't grow back as easily on it, so it's just trying her best to keep her in a stress-free situation. So that means lots of attention, which is all fine for us. It's cute to see how smitten my family is with her. Literally nobody comes in my room to say hi to me. No, they come in to see if Minnie is awake. That's all. That's what it's for. And since she's deaf, they will sit here and wait for her to wake up, or they will put treats in her cage so she smells them and wakes up, and gives lots of attention. So Minnie is never at a lack of attention in our house. For people with lots of love for Minnie. But anyway, so that was probably a long story, but I'm just so happy to have had her a year. She has really kind of brightened up my life. I am so glad. Oh, even with your turd. But yeah, she's really brightened up my life. I'm so glad that for whatever reason I was drawn to that post and I made the drive and went out and got her, because she is just the best. Okay guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed a little reminiscence of Minnie's year that we've had her, and a little flashback of how we adopted her. We have a very special montage video coming out tomorrow for you guys to watch. I put together a little video of just all kinds of clips since having her, and that was really fun to make. It was so nice to go back and look through all the videos of her and just look at her cuteness. So we hope you enjoy that video tomorrow, and we'd love to hear what your favorite clip is tomorrow that you like the best, right? See all of them. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye! Bye! Can I say bye? Yeah, let's go say bye. You gotta turn around, Teddy. Nope, there goes your turd. Ooh. Say bye, guys. Say bye. You want to give me kisses?